Would make sense if the second one's on Switch too. I know I would definitely dive in. But you got to take it for what it is. Now, this next story we're going to talk about, this is really what the video's truly about. Obviously, we're talking about rumors and speculation, and that is an Ocarina of Time remake. Now, look, we've talked in the past about a potential Ocarina of Time remake several times. Eiji Aonuma, who producer of the Zelda series, has hinted at it in prior interviews, even being asked directly about it existing and him laughing about it and not giving a comment. Whereas other things he was asked directly about, he literally said it wasn't happening. So, yeah, there's some credence here from Aonuma, who has teased remakes and remasters in the past. However, things have gotten really fascinating. Now, Nash Guido's been involved in this a little bit. Well, more than a little bit, a lot of it, with sources saying that it's coming, it's probably still a little bit away, yada, yada. Like, Nash Guido is on record saying he doesn't think it's happening next year. But it is Zelda's 40th anniversary, and Nintendo's probably going to do something. Now, their anniversaries are hit and miss. They don't always go big for every single one. They went really big for the 25th, not as big for the 35th. Maybe it's because they're going big for the 40th. Now, the real question is, if an Ocarina of Time remake is happening, well, Nash Guido has said it's being made internally. Now, you think about that, you go, well, maybe it's the Zelda team. They did do Wind Waker HD after all. But is it really the Wind Waker team? Is it really Aonuma behind this? I have to venture they're probably at full steam ahead on a brand new Zelda game, open world, etc., probably targeting 2028. So if an Ocarina of Time remake was to be made, there's a few teams you could talk about. Now, Nash Guido says internal, but if we set him aside, we could go with Grezzo, right? Grezzo has been, one, they've already remastered Ocarina of Time one time before with Ocarina of Time 3D. They also made recently Echoes of Wisdom, so they've made their own standalone Zelda game. So Grezzo's an excellent studio to potentially choose. You could talk about Tantalus, who did, obviously, Twilight Princess HD, but that's not Nintendo internal. Neither of those teams. So who the hell would be making this game? Well, there is a certain studio out there that has a ton of experience with Zelda. That studio, well, has an interview going on literally from Nintendo right now. Look at this. Zelda development with Nintendo began with both hope and anxiety. Monolith Soft also put all their effort into creating Breath of the Wild, what Monolith Soft gained from Tears of the Kingdom. And if you want to read through this yourself, it is translated from Japanese. The biggest thing you learn about this is with Tears of the Kingdom, they were involved on a fundamental level. So they got heavily involved with Breath of the Wild. Then Tears of the Kingdom was even more involved. They helped come up with concept, designs. They were basically there from the very beginning with Tears of the Kingdom. And so they have a whole dedicated team at Monolith Soft that has a lot of experience making the latest Zelda games. So why might Monolith Soft be the one? Well, we got to give a shout out to Andres Restart, friend of the channel. He made a nice 27-minute video on this, laying out all of the evidence that Monolith Soft might be making this. So if you want to know the particulars, you should definitely go watch his video. He does note in that video, hey, maybe Grezzo's doing it. Heck, maybe Retro Studios is, who has worked on other franchises for Nintendo. It could be them. But he does note that Monolith Soft seems to have the largest case. One, they've been hiring since 2017 for a game codenamed, according to former leaker who no longer seems to be around, Midori, called Legacy. Now, Legacy is a very interesting codename because Midori's been right about every other codename they leaked. Legacy, we don't know because the game hasn't come out yet. Legacy really sounds like a game from the past coming back. Literally, it's like the definition of the word legacy. So that could make a lot of sense to be Ocarina of Time. They've also dropped a couple pieces of art. If you want to twist your mind a little bit, you could be like, well, the one art is clearly Zelda in the blue. So there's she's like a Sheikah and there's a dragon in the sky, which dragons weren't really part of Ocarina of Time, but maybe they're part of the 7 years Link is gone. I don't know. And then there's another piece of art they dropped that maybe has a Sheikah eye symbol, maybe not. It's not really high enough resolution to tell. Maybe it's a Zelda symbol. Maybe it means nothing. Maybe it's just an Easter egg. So there's that. But more than that, when it comes to Monolith Soft, is the fact that they've been actively hiring for this Project Legacy for a long time until last year. So when you look at their website, they have a page for Zelda. That's their like team that helps make the mainline Zelda games. Then they had this Project Legacy, and then they had their like Xenoblade RPG stuff. I'm not going to sit here and go into all the details. You should watch Andres Restart's video if you want to know. But I do find this to be really fascinating. Could Monolith Soft's Project Legacy be Ocarina of Time? Well, some of you might go, well, Legacy was mentioned, you know, this new project from Monolith Soft was mentioned all the way back in 2017. That's too long. Nintendo doesn't take that long to make games. Well, it turns out that Donkey Kong Bonanza, according to developer interviews, has been in somewhat development since 2018, and Mario Kart World was being prototyped back in 2017. So Nintendo does have a history of taking a very long time to bring games out, specific games.